Welcome to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on videos like this. John William Bud Rogan, born in 1868, is known as the second tallest person of all time, standing at 8 feet 9 inches, and the tallest person of African descent. However, since he couldn't stand upright, his height was measured in a seated position. His true standing height was never verified. Rogan passed away in 1905 at the age of 37 due to complications related to his condition. During the Blitz in London in 1940, people sheltered in hammocks strung between subway rails. These temporary beds hung in the dim underground light while the bombings continued above. The atmosphere was tense but resilient, as dust and shadows filled the makeshift wartime refuge. In 1932, the daring painters of the Eiffel Tower were working high above Paris. These workers risked their lives, overcoming their fear of heights, to maintain this iconic structure. Could you handle such heights for a job? Safety standards weren't what they are today, but these workers' courage was undeniable. Fanny Mills, a performer known as the Ohio Bigfoot Girl in the 19th century, had abnormally large and swollen feet due to Milroy disease. Her feet were nearly 19.7 inches long, and she wore specially made shoes. Born in England in 1860, she moved to Ohio, gained fame in sideshows, and passed away in 1899. In 1870, patient management practices at West Riding Lunatic Asylum in England reflected the limited understanding and resources of mental health care at the time. Restraint methods in asylums like West Riding often involve physical confinement using devices such as straitjackets, wrist cuffs, or padded rooms to prevent self-harm or aggression, though trends eventually shifted toward more humane treatments. In the 1870s, women diagnosed with hysteria at the Salpêtrière Hospital in Paris were often subjected to treatments like hypnosis, water therapy, and electric shocks. Under Jean-Martin Charcot's direction, these treatments led to scientific study of hysteria, though it was still not fully understood. Some women were even displayed in public demonstrations. This research later influenced psychoanalysis and Freud's theories. Mirin Dejo, a Dutch performance artist in the 1940s, survived without harm despite sharp objects like swords being pierced through his body. He claimed to be demonstrating the power of the mind over the body. Dejo died in 1948 due to complications after a dangerous performance. In 1914, the brave painters of the Brooklyn Bridge worked without modern safety equipment at great heights. Imagine the courage required to work in such conditions. Considering the limited safety measures of the time, one can only admire these workers' dedication and commitment to their jobs. In this photo from 1941, fearless Russian women pilots known as the Night Witches are shown bombing the Nazis at night. These women glided silently behind enemy lines, making history with their bravery. In 1969 in Brooklyn, an undercover police officer is shown in disguise on duty. Ensuring street safety back then meant police officers had to try all kinds of creative disguises. In 1968, during the Vietnam War, transporting the wounded by tank was a challenging and risky task. Tanks were used to move the wounded quickly and safely on the battlefield, but the conditions were far from ideal. The noise, vibrations, and added threat of attack made the journey extremely difficult for the wounded. In 1929 in the Netherlands, a mother might be seen pushing her baby in a wooden pram. The wooden pram, with its large wheels and rounded shape, reflected the classic style of that era. In this photo from around 1917, a nurse is seen writing down the last words of a dying soldier. She is perhaps recording the soldier's final meaningful words. In 1888, punishments in Thailand's Loei province were administered according to Siam's laws of the time. Traditional methods such as flogging, imprisonment, and fines were common. Although King Chulalongkorn, Rama Phi, later introduced modern and more humane systems, older methods continued in remote areas. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated with intriguing visuals and stories. Don't forget to enable notifications so you won't miss our latest content.